portfolios. So I'm just going to use Tom in my example. Tom comes in, we score, and we realize for his IRA account that this moderate conservative is the right allocation. Now, again, the beautiful thing about that mix with Simplicity Wealth, there could be strategic, if you want a strategic, tactical, third-party money managers, we're going to have all those solutions for you. By the way, we have really low fees unless you're interested in high fees. That's my job for you. Yeah. So we're going to have insanely competitive fees because remember I made the comment that the platform is about who? You. Okay. And so, so the great thing about AssetLock Pro, I'm going to walk you through this, is that there's already predetermined action steps if the AssetLock is triggered. But write down what I'm about to share with you. AssetLock, this part, is not designed to be triggered. So when we design these AssetLock percentages, we go back to 2008, and we're going to look at this drawdown, and it might be 9.75. I'm talking about 2008. So the idea, the probability of this triggering is very, very minor and very minute. Does that make sense? I made the statement that AssetLock helps an investor become what? A better investor. So we have to keep them what? Invested. And we understand that this is an emotional game. So like, does anybody, was the market volatile at all at the end of last year? Yeah, just a little bit. But investors that had AssetLock and the advisors that had AssetLock, guess what? It was calm because they could point to what? The AssetLock. No, we're good, Mrs. Jones. You have an AssetLock at 10%, and we're down 4. Oh, okay, got it. Why everyone else is freaking out? Because if you get anywhere near the TV or your phones, it's emotionally trying to trigger them to like do what? The SID is over. America's going to be gone, and it's guns and tomatoes, right? And whatever. But like that's what they're designed to do. They're designed to stir the one thing. Remember the question that I had? What was the question? It's this: how do we help clients stay emotionally strong? If I can answer that in a meaningful way, then I can help a lot of people because I'm trying to create what? Environment my clients to succeed. That's it. Yes. Yeah, so I'm gonna walk through that. So this right
triggering is specific vibe or
the total value. Yes, the total value. That's a great question. I'm gonna walk through that right now. So if that video would have played, right? I had to do it. Yeah. So we look at the total value because guess who looks at that? Clients. What we want to do, what's behind it? That's your job. You're the professional. They need to be sitting down with you, saying, "Here's what I need to show them." About what's caused that to take place. Our job is to communicate what's doing on a higher level. So here's how this works. So Tom came into the office.
You got the video?
No, I don't.
You sure?
Positive.
All right, then we're handling.
No. So Tom comes into the office, and we're role play a little bit. This is super important. So Tom comes into the office, and we sit down and we go through this, process. And we realize that Tom wants and needs an AssetLock at 3%. Tom's account value starts at $100,000. So what is 10%, Tom, of 100,000? 10,000. So 100,000 minus 10,000 makes the AssetLock value how much? 90,000. You might say, well, Jason, why would you just do that? Guess what? We don't buy or do anything that we don't understand. Like you have to realize one of the beautiful things about AssetLock is that it's so simple. People are like, you will get this reaction. Why didn't somebody else think of this? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm sure the other guys have got to be doing this because it's so simple. Because it strikes what? Right at the heart of why that client fires somebody. Communication. Correlations like you heard a LifeLock, right? They're like, yeah, well, it monitors your credit. We have a thing called AssetLock. It monitors your assets. Like, why wouldn't everybody want to do that? I don't know if there was a strategic reason why I named it AssetLock. I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah. So, come on. Thank you. Yeah, when I was like, I literally bought AssetLock for $3,000. I was like, this is the best thing ever. So, but anyways, back to Tom. So here's where it gets really pivotal. So walk through this. So Tom, how would it make you feel if you knew you're invested for the very first time in the stock market and add me as your advisor? I have a tool or resource that's monitoring this every single day. How would that make you feel? Tom, it's interesting that you say that because that is exactly how it makes our clients feel at Jenkins Wealth Management. Because you see, the one thing that AssetLock does, Tom, for my clients is it helps them become a better investor. I just did to a whole group or just him, so I started pushing on some emotional buttons that makes him go, hold on a second. That's exactly what I'm looking for But did I say, hey, do you like AssetLock? No. I said, it's interesting that you say that. That's exactly how that makes my clients feel. So Tom, let me ask you another question. How would you feel if I did this? What if I took AssetLock away? Exposed. I like it.
Exposed.
It's interesting, Tom, because guess what? It's why I've invited everybody here tonight. Because most likely, this is how you're invested. You're invested on the idea of hope, that your advisor is going to call you and reach out to you. And we believe at Jenkins Wealth Management that you deserve more than that. You deserve to have a plan in place, because as a fiduciary, it is my job to help my clients do one simple thing, to become an investor. It's exactly what AssetLock does. Hey, Tom, do you want me to put AssetLock back up for you? Yeah. That one little thing has made a lot of advisors a lot of money. And I want you to see what is happening from a psychological perspective. So you have to complete the circle. What was the starting point that I asked him? I said, Tom, how would it make you feel? He's like, yeah, that would make me feel really good. So he's like, so I'm going to put a plus for the feel. But you only got halfway around. Because what was the follow-up? Who was taking good notes? I said, it's interesting. What was the bridge word? No, it's interesting that you say that, Tom. This is where the word interesting has to come into play. There you go. So I have a group. I can't draw, so bear with me. I want my wife to marry me for my artistic skills. There's a group of people over here. Okay? And guess what? They're happy. It's interesting you say that, Tom, because that is exactly how it makes my clients. Because that's how I want to feel. Because when I say that in front of a group, what was the number one trait? I'm connecting dots here. On behavioral finance.
Okay.
Gosh, you mean to tell me I have other people? All I did to a group of people are one-on-one. I am communicating their language, going, I want to feel like that. AssetLock is a tool I use, right? That helps my clients become a better investor. And Warren, that's what we do here at Jenkins Wealth Management. And we believe one of the most powerful words, please write this down. Everyone should write this one word. You deserve to have this. You should be saying this about fixed index annuity, whatever you believe. The reason why that one word is I've studied, remember I spent 2 years of my life around this concept of neurofinance and behavioral. Really smart people told me that is the one word in sales that is underused. Underused. I should know what you believe in. The best way for me to communicate what I believe in is when I say, William, you deserve to have this.
That makes me feel better. I feel good, now I feel better.
There you go. There you go. So what I'm trying to share with you is that we're going to walk through this today because I created 2 presentations that you're going to have access to. I don't know if you liked how the seminar that I did 44 million with. Anybody? I guess not. Okay, just 1 or 2. I guess. Okay. All right. So it was the truth about annuities. And another one that we just released is a total smash. It's going to come out in March. Is why do most retirement plans fail? I'd like to know that. So just to let you know, we got some really cool. So when I build these, I'm using all this like psychological impacting of getting somebody to say, I'm missing something. I'm missing something. So back to Tom. So we did that. Pretty powerful when you take that line away, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's really cool, Tom, is you'll notice in the video that every time the AssetLock reaches a new high, what happens to the floor? It goes up with it. And what's really neat, Tom, that AssetLock is a technology we use. We keep track of that. So imagine you wake up on a Saturday morning and you get a text message that says, congratulations, your account has reached an all-time high. Would that be kind of cool to get one of those? Yeah. You know, it's interesting because my clients love it, and it helps them know that we're watching and monitoring. Everyone just see what my subtlety, my words now? Can you see all this? I'm just, come on. He doesn't realize what I'm doing. Come on, there's a group of people. You can come join us. Yeah, and I already know the answer to that, right? Could I use this same thought process when I use this? Absolutely. Say that. This is why my clients appreciate having a guaranteed income. It allows them to go live. I believe at Jenkins Wealth Management, you deserve to have that kind of income planning strategy. I can apply this loop to anything. Why? It's authentic. If you believe it, let me feel it and see it. If you fail, I gotta tell you, I was guilty of this. I ran to the smart stuff, right? Yeah, we gotta get there at some point, but if I don't connect with you as a human being, now, we're more busier today than ever. You gotta get that mind share and say, interesting. So, if we do that, you know what's really cool? Is we also once a month as a technology, clients love dividends, package up dividends on the first of every month, and we shoot that text message out to your clients. Congratulations, you got dividends. Could you get dividends as the portfolio's going down? Yeah. Oh my God. Just watching this. We watch referrals come in, portfolios go down. I don't know of any other sales system that when you're losing money, they actually want to talk to clients. Man, the referrals of our clients that from our advisors coming in recently, because I can watch it, is really high. Why? Market's volatile, and they're telling their family and friends, you need to get what? You need to get AssetLock. You got to talk to my guy. Because they can articulate what 10% is. They can't articulate what an R square is or a beta is. So, anyways, as this reaches a new high, yeah.
This is your client, got this guy over here, he sent it to his brother or whoever. Are they very willing to come ultimately talk to you? Or are they going to say, oh, by the way, my advisor, I can call him?
Sure. So anytime, so I'll kind of share with you, and I know I keep prompting to write it down, but just trying to give you the things that can change. So anytime somebody says, oh yeah, my advisor already does something like that, the best way to respond, great, does he do it? Because I can tell you as an advisor, I have more than just one client. I mean, I'd love to work with you, Warren, right? But I have 200 or 300 clients. It is impossible for me to manage my relationships unless I have a technology and a tool like this. Is that an honest answer? And everyone goes, well, that just makes a lot of sense. And so what we have found, Warren, is that it depends upon the person and where they're at. I'm going to give you about 3 months ago with AssetLock Personal. Everybody in this room can use AssetLock Personal if you're insurance only. So as a free service. So the person, our advisor gave it to his client. Client downloaded the app, put it on his 401k. On a Saturday morning, he's in the movie theaters with his best friend sitting right next to him. Guess what comes flying across his phone? Ping, congratulations, your account has reached an all-time new high. His friend's like, what's that all about? Oh yeah, I got AssetLock on my phone. Here's how it works. And when you have the app, we have the videos. You just shut it to him. While the trailer's going. From the app, invites his friend who's sitting next to him, downloads the app, connects his 401k before he started. And he was like, dude, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So that was a Saturday. So the next night, that advisor gets an email through the phone. Says, hey, I'm going with my friend. I got this. I'm kind of interested in talking to you. Fast forward, he's a doctor who's retiring. 3 weeks later, that advisor moved to $3 million account. So impressed. He says, my perception of you, I don't know, I've never seen anything like it. This is what I want. And he had an opportunity to come in and sweep in and get the whole relationship. So that's exactly one of, I can pour you guys with a lot of stories about how it works and those kind of referrals. So what I want to do is I want to zoom in on this right here. So AssetLock, this is the communication. So we have our little TSA, right? Green, yellow, red. This is exactly how it works on both the pro and the personal. Oh, just so to back up. Right here. So I want to stick with the pro. On the pro side, when we launch our Simplicity Wealth, is you have 3 options. You may want to write these down. The first option is this. If it hits the AssetLock, day 1, you can determine with that client that I want it to sell and go to a cash-like portfolio. That's option 1. Option 2, is if it hits the asset lock, I want it to trigger and I want it to be traded down in a more conservative portfolio. Remember that efficient frontier? We're going to go from here and go down 2 portfolios. Option 3, guess what? Nothing, but it's the ultimate trigger point for you to have a conversation. Now, as an advisor, it's pretty powerful to have those options. Let's pop.
2, it's assuming.
We're on the pro side still. Pro. So put pro next to what I just said. The power is this. I can tell you from experience.
Say that your clients can only buy other pros.
Not yet. I'm going to connect those two here in a second. So on the pro side, just to be really clear, this is using what's come to be Simplicity Wealth, right? So we will actually take that action on your behalf. So let me just go through that again. It's just communication. So it says, hey, we've hit the asset lock. You need to go talk to the client, but we'll not take any action until you tell us what to do. Here's the power. Power is on that pro side. You've now, for the very first time, that client goes, okay, we have a plan. We actually have a plan day one of what we're going to do with my funds. And what's fascinating is it's now all of a sudden the husband and wife are sitting in front of you. And for the very first time, they each get to select what they want. So the wife might say, I want to have an asset lock at 10. And the husband's like, hey, let's go for it. I want to have an asset lock at 20. But they get to decide because investing is individualized. It goes down to the individual fingerprint to it. The only way that plan works, create an environment, is if what? We make them feel that they can do this. And how often are you a marriage counselor in a meeting? I know I've been there.
Yeah.
You're like, I got to make them agree upon a plan. What's great about it is when you can say, that's okay. You get to have what you want. She gets to have what she wants, but together we can do that. So on the pro side, this is on AssetLock Pro. You can decide they want. I can tell you 60 to 70% of clients, they select one. And the next most popular one is they want to trade down. So the point of it is, it's how you, the advisor, want to build your practice. So if you want to build your practice one, and it's all threes, you know, that's the communication, you get to build a practice with it you want for it. Really powerful. Because on AssetLock Personal, there is no action that's going to take place. It's just a communication tool. So yeah. I'm going to do that later on. But yeah, it's a great question. See, Ben, I'm just baiting you in to join Simplicity Wealth. All right. So
You're herding him in.
Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah, you're herding him in.
Just saying.
It's interesting you say that, Ben, because I think Tom's interested too.
You're in the group.
So this is I don't know why it's showing up, but anyways, this is how it works. So green is good. So on this green, I'm gonna stick with pro, and then I'm gonna jump to personal. So on the green side, it goes to yellow. And the most magical thing that happens on AssetLock Pro is we alert who? You, the advisor. And if you do something, I guarantee it, you pick up a thing called a telephone, and you call that person. Say, hey, guess what? So AssetLock's been triggered. I just know I'm here. I'm going to plug Simplicity Wealth. We're going to give you the talking points around that portfolio. So you're going to sound really smart. Mrs. Jones, this is what happened. Huh? No, you're really smart. We're just going to help you be smarter. How about that? But here's what's going on. I want you to know, guess what? Mike, watching. Hang up the phone. Here's what happens. Mike's like, that actually works. Mike turns around, and he's down. He's like, I gotta go to sleep. That's what we get to see all the time with us. Because he knows a plan's in place. He's like, I can do this. And that's exactly what AssetLock does. On the personal side, you can do the same thing. You can see this, but that is a communication point to that client. Right? If they hit it, it's letting them know. The power is what? Having the knowledge. I get to see the data your clients want to know. Because I will tell you this, you're about to see that you're not going to be on the other side of AssetLock by the time Simplicity gets done with it, because we are going to build a national brand. This is you heard of LifeLock? Great, yeah. It's exactly what we have over here with AssetLock. And it's a story. They understand 10%. Remember, Mike, did they understand those betas? No. Do you have a roaming strategy? No, you know what I mean? No, you don't. No. So that is how that works. AssetLock Personal. Here's what's really cool about this. Some of you have been exposed to it. AssetLock Personal can go on any account that's got a username and password. We partnered up with Morningstar. Mr. Y'all heard of Morningstar? Okay. I think I just threw y'all out. I feel like I'm in the South. I mean, just y'all. Somebody pulled a y'all out of me in the last 24 hours. I didn't know what part of the country. South. Thank you very much. I'm just joking. But everyone who's watching this is like, who did you let this guy? I apologize for everybody watching. But here's the power of AssetLock Personal. So we developed AssetLock Pro. And what I realized, people walking into my office, there was opportunities where the majority of their assets were sitting in what? 401k. I'm like, darn it, I would love to build a relationship with them. So we developed AssetLock Personal that allows them to put AssetLock on that as a communication tool. With whose brand? My brand. So it's alerting them. They're like, man, this is fascinating. Wow, Tom, thanks so much. And that repetition of all of that communication, we do several things inside their 401k. If the employer makes a deposit, guess what? We let them know. They get dividends. We let them know. What you're going to find is how powerful and how big of a market, because now, guess who's a client of yours? Anybody. So if you got a kid in college, you're like, hey, or somebody who's young and they want to see this, well, the last time I checked, they most likely have a mom and a dad and grandparents, right? And we're starting to see it just spider in terms of the referrals. So this is what AssetLock Personal does. It increases client retention, provides access to untapped assets, enhances your scalability, offers you competitive advantage. Anyone interested in that? Should be. And I'm going to talk more about that because I'm going to give you what I believe is going to happen in the next 3 years in this business. Powerful lead gen that provides innovative marketing strategies. So we have an entire dashboard. Tom, have you had a chance to log in and see yet? How cool is it?
Very helpful.
How many?
Very cool.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm from Southern California. We got to keep the shorts and the tacos cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, even though I threw a yaw out, don't confuse me. California yeah, I know, right? Tell them briefly about all the resources from an advisor's perspective that sits in that dashboard.
Yeah, I mean, you can see everything. You can kind of get a feel for how many of your accounts are in the green, in the yellow, in the red, who is maybe ready for a communication from you, and just being able to do this for account. Like, I work with a lot of federal employees. If they're their TSP on there, it's not a piece of the puzzle that I'm controlling or anything, but it allows me to say, hey, look, you know, if you want to invest that differently, you have a little bit more support behind you now, and maybe make you a little better investor.
Yeah, and the resources for you as an advisor for marketing.
Yeah, I've got the brochure and stuff here with me that I had printed up, but it's literally already ready, and I just threw my picture on it.
Yeah, turnkey. So if you guys like the easy button and turnkey, that's what we do. Yeah, just hit the easy button. So again, the dashboard, that green dot tells you right, green, yellow, red. On the dashboard, when you work with simplicity, is that we distinguish the two, so you know what's in pro, you know what's in personal, and then the household. So you're going to know, and I'm going to tell you it's going to happen. You're going to have clients that are on the pro side that still have assets that are waiting in the wings, right? So you're able to put that on the entire relationship. We had a client out of Oregon. He won, I think it was about a $2 million case because he was able to offer AssetLock on what? The entire relationship. He moved 300 today, knowing that in the next 12 months, the majority of that 401k was coming his way. So again, we make it really easy for you to see all the information. I know it's a little blurry, but just know that it's all there. We show the high water date. We actually track the number of highs. This is a really powerful thing. So let's say you were with me for 2 years, and we accumulate all the number of highs to the accounts. Let's say that's like 85. Hey, Mrs. Jones, since you've been with us, do you know you've had 85 new highs? Now, they might only be up 2%, but what did they hear? Something's going on. All right, that's cool. So we know the things psychologically that kind of move that investor. We make this about you. Make this about you. This is about co-branding. This is about a partnership. This is about your brand. So in the text messages, guess what goes out? Your brand. Oh, that's right. They're using this tool with your brand on the emails. This is not about AssetLock. This is not about simplicity. This is about you and your business. And that's a very big thing I'm going to get to later on about if you want to be in this business, you're going to have to prove your value because fee compression is coming, ladies and gentlemen. So all these other robo-advisors, So with all this other regulation, who's going to be left standing? I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a small group. It's going to be a small group, and these are the little things that we're going to make sure that help you be part of that small group standing. So again, 401ks, TSPs, 403bs. So yeah, anything that they have a username and a password. So right now, remember our relationship with Morningstar? We have access to about almost now 17,000 different plans. So any TSP plan, if it's got a username and a password, they can put AssetLock Personal around it. If for some reason you come across the smaller 401k plan and you realize that it's not in there, you're going to notify. I'm going to brag about our staff. How great is Rachel? Yeah, so she's our director of operations. Hey, Rachel, I can't find this. It takes us about 3 weeks to us to work with Morningstar for us to code into that relationship. But you might have, all of a sudden, that relationship has 200 employees. So we code into it once, and guess what? Now you can go in and touch that relationship. So just to let you know like how that works. And something else that's really important, I want to talk about security. So you might say, well, hold on a second. I'm using my username and password. So Morningstar, why would we partner with Morningstar? Morningstar, this is really important. They have something called tokens. So when this is a technical term, when you go into Wells Fargo and your Merrill Lynch's, wherever you log in, even whatever site it might be, when you put a username and a password, someone is holding that token. Okay? That's where the important information is. Morningstar is holding the token. We're just a conduit to getting that information. So someone's like, hey, how good is the security? I want you to be able to articulate what I just said. One, I have an entire flyer on it, okay? But second, oh, that's great. AssetLock is partnered up with Morningstar. Most people know that name. They're the ones that actually hold the token. It's just a conduit that goes through. Like this, oh, that's great. But I'm letting you know on our side, we've also put measures in its place. If somebody hacked into our system, there would be more information inside that person's mailbox than in my system. I'm getting what? Account information? Am I asking for date of birth and social securities? Nope, not. And I'm only going to show the last 4 digits to that situation. So just to let you know, is there any, I want to stop. Any questions on that? Yeah, the second factor authorization. So Morningstar jumps it by, I forget the actual screen. So the system can handle it. So when they see that username and password, it's them accessing it. But once that system gets accessed our way, we're pulling that data on the basis. So there's a difference of viewing and getting that data. So when they text the client to confirm that you're on the system and you have to re-enter that. So for them to view, right? For them to view. But once somebody registers once inside the AssetLock system, yeah, they're not doing it every time. Yeah, because again, we're gathering that data on a daily basis. So we're monitoring that every single day. So our systems wake, well, actually they never sleep, right? We're getting that on a daily basis. This is something else really important that you brought up, Richard, is that AssetLock's values are based upon yesterday's close. Everyone catch that? Why is that? Because overnight, mutual funds are reconciling, right? Everything's got to reconcile. So the next morning at 10 a.m., that gets pushed out from that perspective. I want to talk about AssetLock Personal more on this. Here's how it works. So whatever their portfolio is, the client, not you, the client makes the selection. I want to put 10%. It wraps around the total value. So Warren, this gets back to what your question was. I'm not monitoring the individual pieces. I'm going to report what? Total value. You with me on that so far? Pretty straightforward. Any questions on that? Okay. So here's what we did. So AssetLock Pro, been around a long time. It is lethal. It is amazing. It's exactly what your clients want. Now you add AssetLock Personal to the story. That's great, Mrs. Jones, right? I can put AssetLock on these accounts. Maybe there's accounts that I can't, but now I can put AssetLock on what? Everything, right? On the entire relationship. Now all of a sudden, from experience, people want to go out and talk to them. So what I did is I took a step back. So I'm that guy that wants to know how the watch works and make things better. God bless my wife, because I literally have a pad or something like that. I'm that kind of crazy guy. And I thought there's got to be a better way. So we realized it only made sense to put this tool where? By the palm of somebody's hands. We don't go to desktops anymore. And I did a lot of research to understand what the human behavior, but how and why somebody wants to access it. So I'm going to share with you why we built it into the app. I'm going to walk you through it. I know some of you have seen it. It's pretty cool. And go from there. So here's why we did this. Did you know that 7 out of 10 adults 50 plus, they own a smartphone? The number going up?
Yes.
88% of adults 50 plus use their smartphone to IMS or email. What is IMS and email? Communication. All this data comes, by the way, from ARP Digital Trends. They did the most comprehensive study on whose target audience. Yours. Okay? 50 plus, right? This is what they're doing. So they're saying, I'm going to buy that smartphone. And I'm going to start texting and emailing around. 66% of adults 50 plus use their smartphone to do what? Download or purchase from the app. That number, in the next 18 months, they believe is going to be around 85%. Think about that for a second. 85%. Everyone's like, oh, if you got a website, great. Is it mobile friendly? That's all important. But guess what? It's a much richer experience when I can control it in what? App. That's that's just where it is. It's what your customers want. And guess what? So we're like, well, it only makes sense for us to meet them where they're at. I just did this because this blew me away. 3 hours and 25 minutes in an app a day. All of this. 3 hours and 25 minutes. Just think how often MSNBC, whatever it is, they actually track the usage of us clicking on these devices. Like, that's a lot of time. So what's really important, I want you to understand, is that's creating a human what? Behavior. Getting very comfortable and saying, this is how I want to be communicated. This one really gets me. Baby boomers spend 11 hours or more a week in Facebook. Each week, 11 hours. And I really want to say that because of Facebook, that is catalyst behind how we communicate as a society. So, follow me. I'm buying the device. I want to use it. I'm actually actively purchasing. And this generation's like, oh, this is a for me to what? Like, follow, and share. This is really cool. You look at the data. What is used more on Facebook? Desktop or the mobile device? What do you think the percentage is? How many percentage of accessing it via mobile? What do you think? 80 plus. It's just going to continue to rise. This was the one stat that blew me away the most. Baby boomers are 19% more likely to share content compared to any other generation. Now, pray for me because I'm about to have a 16-year-old come this next month. Yeah, drive a boy. Yeah, so he's gonna be driving. My son, who's all over the place, building his own computers, doing his own thing, is less likely to share something than our generation. Connect the dots. Why would that be? Back to what I do. This generation's used to it. I want that device. Great. It only made sense for us to take the power of AssetLock and again put it right in the palm of the hands. So that's what we did. So it's in both platforms, Apple, Google Play, so both. So here's the benefits of it. It streamlines communication, delivers referrals, simplifies the access. All accounts, one app, right in front of them with AssetLock all around it. Enhances the advisor's brand. Remember that story I told you about the movie theater? What was the perception of his friend? Doctor gave him $3 million.
It's that guy's advisor.
Like, what else do you do? Because I've never seen this. I've never heard of this. What else, Eric, could you be doing that I need to be aware of? Because that fear of me missing out, and this is a big decision, it drastically enhances your brand. Keeps in top of mind. That's exactly right. We're in the pocket. We're not on a desktop. We're not getting hunkered into email list or junk mail. No, we're right there because when they get that text message from us or that message, it pauses and it's like, oh, that's exactly what took place in my account. So here's what we did. If you go to the App Store, you're going to come across a pretty complicated interface like this. There's only one thing. Put in your email address. So what we've done is that the consumers right this second will run into this. My commitment and our commitment and simplicity is you. You will not give this app away for free to the consumer. The only way to access AssetLock is to go through what? Advisor. That's correct. So Simplicity Advisor. So they can learn about AssetLock. We can tell them about our security right up front. So again, they put in their email address, and then it comes to this next slide right here. Well, it's a little fuzzy, but again, they're going to put in their email. And then what it says right here is an advisor code. Each one of you are given your own advisor code. Why is that important? For tracking, right? So you have access. So because, let's say you're marketing, we have guys that do it on the radio, seminars, whatever, put it on the print material so that you will get credit for all of those referrals. What's really cool is I'm going to share with you. Remember, I'm going to go back to my referral. He sent that message to him while he was sitting there. Guess what was in that text message? The advisor's code. That's how he was instantly able to sign up, and that's how the advisor got it. So the consumer puts in their first name, last name, they put in a password, they hit accept, and they come to this beautiful interface that we did not build. I want to make a big point of this. We went to your clients. We said, what do you want? I want it to be the Jason Jenkins design. I want it to be, what does the customer want? We spent a tremendous amount of time on what I'm going to share with you. I think it's one of the reasons we've been so successful with AssetLock is we took the time to find out what does the customer actually want. They sign up and they come to this. This is the interface. So first of all, I want you to picture that as your photo. This is you and your brand. They want to know, well, how did I get this and who is this person? So your name, your brand sits right there. What was really interesting was the second thing. Right in the middle, they said, well, if that's who the advisor is, I want to know, do they have anything important to tell me lately? Well, what's really amazing is you can post, hear me on this, you can post whatever you want in this, and it automatically gets pushed out to everyone who has your app. So if you do a TV segment, a radio segment, you write up a white paper, or you get a really smart white paper for Simplicity Wealth that's branded towards you. I don't know, and I'm just saying that. And you push it out. They're like, man, this guy's really smart. Right. All right. He is smart. But my point on it is, what I want everybody to see, 1 second here. One push, you instantly touched everybody. You have no idea where they're at in this world. Yeah, Eric.
For those that are security licensed.
Yeah. So you only post what you have compliance approval to do, right? You control this. We don't. You have full control over what you want to have seen. Yep, it's not us. So that's the power behind it. So advisors love it, clients love it, because now that's kind of cool. So maybe you come across something that's important. Here's another great thing that we can do, and I want to repeat this, I think you know this. We can actually give you multiple codes. So if you do seminars, radio, social security workshops, I can give you 3 codes. You can track by code and push content by code. It's kind of cool. So again, this is all about making it flexible for you. But you just need to know, when we did all the research, this was the #1 feature besides seeing AssetLock that they wanted to know. That's why we put it in that place. So of course you're gonna, yeah.
We need who are we calling?
One, you can call your business coaches here at Simplicity.
Here.
Yeah, here. Second, we have an entire support staff. So the one thing I'm a pretty big stickler about, they can testify to this, is you call my team, we're getting back to you. So whatever time and energy it takes to get you up to speed, we're not going to leave you alone to figure it out yourself. Okay? Guess what? One button right here, they get to see all their accounts. They download it, they hit this button, and if they don't have any accounts in there, there's another button that says Add Accounts. Click on it. It's 3 steps to add the account. You find the URL, like Wells Fargo or Merrill Lynch. They put in that username, password, and the third step is select the AssetLock and go for that account. Save, and guess what? We got it. That easy. Pretty cool, huh? So here's the bottom navigation. We have Home and we have Connect. The whole Connect section, this is about you. You can put your staff in here, your deeper bio. Like, this is about them understanding, I want to learn more about this individual. So without them ever assigning an account, I could download this and go, who's Ben? That's kind of cool. He's got a staff member, and this is more about what he does. The services, just like you customize on your website, guess what? You can actually customize the app with your services. So security, estate plan. So it matches things. Remember, would I rather see it in an app or a website? Yeah. You have the ability to customize this. Remember, this is about you, not us. And then we have AssetLock that supports it. And then look, does anyone do annuities in here? Oh, okay, just make sure I'm in the right place. We're Got it. So we think this is a major, major area. Do you guys like no more surprises? Yes. All right, cool. So we think there's benefit with working with Simplicity. Simplicity is technically $4 billion of fixed index annuities and fixed annuities in the space. I think that makes this close to 2, if not 2. We will be number 1. I think we all know who might be number 1 today. I'm not competitive, just joking. But the point is, our size done right. Do you think we have close relationships with these insurance companies? We do. So guess what we're doing? Right now, today, you could actually put, if you're an insurance-only guy, use this app and pull in those insurance contracts, right? Because some of them have username and passwords. We're taking it a step further. With AssetLock Pro, when we talk about the difference, when somebody signs with AssetLock Pro, they don't have to do anything. Because they're going through us, we automatically do that feed. They don't have to log in. It just shows up. I'm like, oh, that was so crazy. I did nothing. Yep, that's it. We have decided to do the same thing on the AssetLock personal side. We are working with the top insurance companies, Fee, Equity, Nationwide, all of those carriers to get direct feeds. So if you sell a fixed index annuity, guess what you do? Have them download the app, and they click on this, and like, oh, there's that fixed index annuity. Why would I do that? First of all, that's kind of cool. Top of mind. Problem with the fixed index annuity that I cannot stand. I hate it. Richard's absolutely right. It shows up once a year on an anniversary date. If you're like, well, quarterly meetings, right? They're like, why is this thing like junky at March 22nd? So, wouldn't it make sense, because we believe in this, and the person just put a good chunk of money in this, that we should communicate the benefits so it's in their pocket? And it says, oh yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right, my principal's guaranteed. It's Allianz. Oh, that's kind of cool. The CEO of Allianz just said, thanks for letting us, empower us to do that. It's kind of neat. Yeah, I'm going to barbecue with my buddy, and I just got my 401k on the AssetLock. Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot. I've got this Allianz. That's that name, right? Yeah, hopefully no one's recorded that and sent it back to me. Oh, yeah, well, what's that contract? Oh, I've got this annuity that guarantees my principal, and I have guaranteed income for life. Really? How does that work? Like, empowering the consumer. Do you think insurance companies would be interested in having that kind of relationship with us? They're knocking down our doors. I'm letting you know that that's what we're building. We think that's pretty powerful for you, the advisor, to put them right in their pocket. So that's the ETA on that. I'm sorry, what? ETA. Probably into second quarter this year is when we're going to start rolling out one at a time. So by the end of this year, all the major carriers that you work with, automatic. So when you do business with Simplicity, they paint a really cool vision. Execute. You sell an annuity contract with Simplicity because you want to call us partners. Guess what? Automatically going to connect it to that app. All you got to do is get them to download it, and it automatically goes underneath you. Powerful. And now all of a sudden they're like, wow, what is this? And now you train to it, like, oh yeah, here are the 401ks right here. So that's a little surprise. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I deserve that.
I'm done for the day. But right now you're my favorite, okay? Just don't tell Tom. Just don't tell Tom.
No.
So there's shortcuts. So often, when you get a text message that's unread, they come into this, it bubbles up right here. They can click to it. So they don't even need to log in. So we actually pull that data so it's like a shortcut so they can see what accounts they do eyes. Contact. Again, they want to have easy contact. Yeah, we actually do. It's kind of a cool little feature. We do a Google map inside. So you look sophisticated. It's like clients love it. This is the #1 feature. So we talked about our movie theater. So we looked at this. We said, let's really make it easy for somebody to refer. I don't know about you. I was really passionate about serving my clients. I naturally got referrals just through that, but I was terrible at asking for it. I mean, I just was like scared to death. I'm like, I can't, let's go to your phone book. That just wasn't me. So I don't know about you, but a lot of advisors struggle like doing that. So we thought, powerful story. It's moving it. So you love your advisor, love Mike. He's using AssetLock, but you just want to like open up your phone book, and clients like, I really like Mike, but that's crossing the line. So we went back to the same group and we asked them this question. Well, what if we gave you a really easy tool And all you had to do was like, sure, would you do that? And they were like, not only would I do that, but that'd be pretty neat. So guess what we did? We built it right into the app. So you train your clients on how easy it is to refer. Hey, remember it's free? Great. They click on this and it goes to the screen. So the first thing they do is I'm going to interact with Mike. So Mike and I at the movie theaters. I'm going to put in his first name, last name, email address, or text message. And in this box, right here, hey, Mike, this is AssetLock. Check it out. What do you need? And then in the red box is a message to my advisor, William.
Yes.
William, this is my best buddy, Mike. We're at the movie theaters right now. You got to call him. Whatever. Hope life is good. Got it. I hit send, and guess what happens? So the part of my story I didn't tell you about is when Mike called the advisor already knew who it was. That's the part of the story that I left out, that he already knew. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I got a message that you downloaded the app. So pause, because this is where I always get goosebumps. I hope your mind is thinking, I could build something pretty spectacular. Just planning to sit here and watching it take a life of its own. If you put it at the tip of the spear and you train your clients on how to refer you, I promise you, they're just like, oh, this is really neat. What is the perception in this situation of me as the advisor? Or I'm sorry, William as the advisor. What is it? Cool. All right, you've got to run in for being number one here. No, exactly.
You mentioned the word spidering.
Yep.
Earlier.
Yep.
This is how.
Exactly. So you could be on vacation. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to be on vacation. You're going to be with your family. And why would we send out alerts on a Saturday morning? I want to be in your face when you're with your family and friends. I want you to know what I'm doing on your behalf. And that's why we built it this way. So it's kind of fun. So these are the stories, right? Here's my little example. Hey, Pop. So this is the guy who's got AssetLock. He's like, hey, my financial advisor tracks my 401k. I was just notified every single time they buy. I love this statement.
Is he a caddy?
Yeah, he's a caddy.
He made money too.
Yeah. I actually had no idea how my retirement accounts were doing. That's exactly how they have no idea. Yep. Great. And so that same thing, the moment that he gives that, I can literally tell you all the different stories. Restaurants, golfing, it just gets shared. If you put it in front, it will get shared. It's that easy and simple. Tom and I have spent some time at the last event we were at. I mean, you want to talk about a water cooler where he's going with federal employees, walking in, and all of a sudden, in one swoop, you can just begin to disseminate a free tool. Because when you work with simplicity, guess what AssetLock costs you? Yes. I look at it not about production, I look at it as a relationship. Guess what? You can have unlimited accounts inside your AssetLock. Unlimited. You can have 10,000 people run the brand. The pipeline comes back to you. It is the future on how to prospect with what content. And this is a tool that helps. So you download this. So here's a question. Can you still communicate with a prospect if they've never seen their accounts? So I downloaded, but I'd never seen my accounts. Can I talk to them? That answer is what? Where in the app do I do that? I could share something. But if I was smart enough and I got a special code for my seminars, and I'm going to package up specific content to that, I could deliver that? Absolutely. So, guess what? We have advisors that do radio ads. So one thing that's coming your way, we are repositioning Simplicity Group Holdings value props. So this is some stuff that's kind of new. I don't know if I should share it. Should I share it? We are going to have the best mentors. We're going to have the best coaching to help you personally. We have coaches that are deploying radio ads and different things using AssetLock, and they're literally just having people download it and walk in their door to come in and say, how do I get to get coaching? So we have best practice. All of this is turnkey, right? Just sitting there right there for you. So let's say, could you see yourself walking into a business owner saying, hey, I've got this free tool. It's called AssetLock. I'd like to offer it. Do you think an employer would be interested in helping you support their 401k plans? Yes. Why? They have a fiduciary job to do so. So what we have found from actual practice is you get a chance to give it out to the employees, and the business owners looking at you, who's most likely got most of the money, going, what? Mike, what is he doing? What? Time out. Like, this is, you're just going to do this. Yeah. Why? Because I'm committed to helping investors become better investors, and AssetLock, it's a tool that I use in my practice, and it helps me create an environment for my clients to succeed. The key words, right? If somebody said that to you, how would you feel if you received that message just now? I don't know what he just said, but I feel like I really like this guy that I just met, because he's beginning to deliver something that's meaningful to me. That's the key. So, business owners, I think it's one of the top applications. Government employees, schools, universities, military, nonprofits. Hopefully your mind is beginning to think about how many different places it can go. And again, we decided to make it really easy for you. All this stuff that Tom has been referencing is literally sitting inside your AssetLock dashboard. Just grab it and go. And if it's not there, guess what we're going to do? We'll build it for you. Customize it. Yeah. Yep. So, what does this look like? Fidelity right now, this is the average 401k in the United States from this age. So I want you to think, 50 people in that demographics. It's not a lot of people. Put AssetLock on there, that's 8. 116, 200, and guess what? That group of people is fired, retires. Who do we want them thinking about? You. Which is why all of our advisors have a seal called AssetLock Equipped Advisor. I want them to know, just like any kind of seal, you just can't go get this. It's a verification that they can. Because they're like, oh, I'll just get that down the road. You're like, no, no, no. So we have advisors that put co-brand. We will design whatever you want. So a lot of, I don't know if anybody does seminars, you know, like those pop-ups. Customize it, we'll put that seal on there. Putting it on your website is so significant. So there's a lot of things like that that we're that advisors do, best practice, that we can help out with. One of the things that we're doing with Simplicity Wealth is we're taking a lot of time to find out content that actually moves that advisor. So if somebody joins Simplicity Wealth, that will come in and like that's content, best practice, and that's going to be coming out here the next month. So can everybody see that? You see, you will get referrals from people that you've never met. That's part of the power. The same app, when you log in, you get a different interface. You get to see all of your accounts and everything right here. You're the advisor. So same app, but just a different email that it launches that. So you get to see all of that right in the palm of your hands. It's kind of cool. I talked about all the workshop presentations. Again, it's all there for that to be co-branded. I don't think this video is going to work, but it's okay. Unless you want to try it.
We can get crazy.
We can get crazy. So in the midst of like my craziness, like I told you, like my little strategy. So we've integrated with Facebook because where's your #1 clients? On Facebook. So we thought it'd be kind of fun to like disrupt them a little bit and really kind of know, because I'm pretty good at wordsmithing, just to kind of go in and kind of plug at that advisor, like, is he really watching your money? So we developed a video series that once we get enough of AssetLock Equipped advisors across the country, we are going to launch a national campaign. And this is one of the videos that we've come up with, so we'll see if this plays.
Doug, could you please explain to us what's happening?
All right, well, it's not. That's okay. I'm going to keep doing that. So it's great. It is. You do not want to be on the other side of that fence. If you're not an AssetLock advisor, we make a pretty big stink about it. And if she gets it up, it's actually pretty funny. It makes somebody stop and laugh and go, that's right. What is my advisor doing? What's this whole AssetLock thing about? You know, because the number one thing, because I've done all the polling with your clients, I know like 67% of those investors right now, what did we learn from the research?
Don't trust.
Don't trust. So I just come right in and just poke right at it. So, she she's doing. You're good. You
I didn't watch it in a while. Yeah.
That's okay.
Do you have these videos under a separate file in here?
I do not.
Okay. Nope. Got it. Keep
I have a laptop.
no, stand by. You keep just do your thing.
All right. So we've integrated with Facebook. The other thing that was up there that I was going to show is just some advisor testimonials. So we can bypass that.
For now.
But for right this second. But I'm going to pause while she's pulling it back up. Questions that you have for me? Yes.
Have, I guess here on the program, client uploaded or downloaded all their accounts. Some of those are with SAS insurance folks.
Yep.
The client has a 401k.
Yep.
That is downloaded. They view that. They set a lot of parameters and so forth. Now, one of the screenshots on the cell phone was the advisor.
Correct.
AssetLock.
You got it. That's right. Yep. And think through that. It's powerful, right? Because I'm telling you, people need help. They need help. Now, if you're an insurance-only person, you can't get security advice, but guess what? You can find a referral partner. You know what I mean? Like, you can find, I'm not going to get the total soapbox to it, but I'll tell you, being able to be a dual advisor where we're going is going to be really important. And if you're not, you got to find a relationship that you can work. So that's how that works. Yeah.
That being said, are you guys going to be doing some Series 65 themselves?
Yeah, I will tell you that. So yeah, we're going to help advisors, get there. But if you're not, Kaplan's the best. Hands down, Kaplan is the best study. How I did it is I studied, and then they have like a personal 2-day course. I learned best in person, and then I took the test. But out of everything that you can do, Kaplan is the best. And they have a national reach at the same time. Yeah. Sure.
I know you have just in the sense of I call you have, let's just say in our conversations, you say, hey, you know what? Right now, I got my guy. My guy's over at this
Sure.
firm, and I just want to see how this is going. The service is over.
Yeah.
Right? So you kind of get the hands where they want to even conduct their business. So it sounds like your system will allow that.
Absolutely.
But you can, like over time, give them, hey, you have to say what you're going to do. Tell your old guy or the guy.
Yeah.
He's going to do something.
It is a free value add that I offer here at my firm. And so it's like anything. We don't know where somebody is, but somebody could inherit money. They could get fired. They could have loved their advisor 6 months ago. Now they're pissed. We don't know. What we do know is that we want to be that first top line. That's it.
So the other question is, I used to be registered license at 65.
Okay.
So, somebody still get their 65, right? And then say, you know what? I still don't want to manage anybody's money. I just don't want that phone.
Yeah.
But you're running up there on the side, and I say, hey, anyone I get, I'm partnering with you. You get those folks. But because I'm 65, it doesn't allow me to compensate them whatever you want to.
Correct. So if you had a strategic relationship, let's just say with Ben, this example, that hey Ben, I'm going to refer that securities business over to you, and you're licensed, then yes, he can pay. That's correct. Don't.
I have a question.
Yep.
Since you have AssetLock and your client set their parameter, doesn't it decrease the amount of phone calls you get of being ticked?
Exactly right. That's the whole point of AssetLock there. Did everybody catch that? The question. The question was, because I have AssetLock, doesn't that decrease the number of calls that I get as an advisor? The answer is yes. Because it's part of the power of this, as you're referring to it. You're down 4, your AssetLock's 15. We're good. And you train that behavior to go there because now there is a tool and a mechanism and a process in place, that gets us there. One of the biggest things, maybe write this down just so it jogs your mind. Best advisors have processes. You should sell your process, not your products. You should sell your process, not your products. Process is you. Product is somebody else. That is critically important because it's very easy, and I've been guilty of this, to want to sell product, got to back it up into a process. This is how we help investors become better investors. You know what I mean? You start using some of that language that I was sharing with you. That's what really moves it. So, I don't.
But no.
Oh, she's like, I'm not.
Give a second.
Okay.
Process of rebalancing someone does get trade.
Yeah. No, so on the pro side, yeah, great question. So the question is that, let's say the client's on the pro side and they trigger that AssetLock, it's already been predetermined, the system knows, guess what? We're taking that action unless that's overrated. So that's just gonna happen, because that's part of the value that you're bringing. So,
However, when it does take the action,
yeah.
it is putting in sell orders in various accounts.
The whole, or we do all of that.
All that we don't.
Yep. So the client says, hey, I hit AssetLock, I want to move to this cash-like portfolio. That's just going to happen. And that's part of the power process. Should I give this a shot?
No, do you want to skip past it? And so
Right.
we should be back into
Cool.
whatever comes next.
All right, so I want to talk about the future of AssetLock. So this is where we're going with AssetLock, and this is part of why I joined Simplicity. We are going to create a national brand. Can you guys see that? You should, because that's what we're going to do. We are going to create a national brand. People know LifeLock, they will come to know AssetLock. The only way you get AssetLock is how? For simplicity. We are committed to the independent advisor. That is my heritage. It's what I believe in. And I do believe that clients deserve a good advisor. An advisor that's going to be free and clear from any kind of ivory tower type of suggestions. That's what I believe in, and that's who we're interested in. And then the second thing that we're going to do, I don't know if anybody's interested in this idea, we are going to create leads. You want any leads, possibly? I have a meeting next week that we will generate leads, AssetLock leads, if that's what you're interested in. We're testing those right now, and they're awesome. They're absolutely awesome. So this is where we're going with AssetLock. We're working on that right this second. Yeah, we're trying to drive that. So I want to talk about the future. I'm going to wrap up here. So this is where I am going to stand on my soapbox a little bit, because you need to understand that what is happening in this industry, there is an undertow of change. How many would agree with that? There is an undertow that is coming at you, the advisor. And 3 years from now, it is going to look radically different. When we talk about the future, I want to talk about what sits here today as an option for your clients. You know your clients follow TD Ameritrade, Fidelity and Charles Schwab, and different follow. ETF portfolio, no fees, no transactions, tax harvesting, and a live licensed advisor to give them counsel. That's not 3 years from now. That's today. So here's my question back to you. What is the value that you're showing to your clients that justifies what you're paying? What is the value that you're showing that is going to continue to justify why they should pay you versus why should I just let them down? Talks about fees are bad. There you go. It is a comprehensive perspective that it's more than just AssetLock. AssetLock is a phenomenal tool that's going to separate you. The future's here. It's not 3 years from now. So what? I'm excited about Simplicity and what we're doing. For me to repeat this, the future is what? It's you. Everything that we're doing at Simplicity is about how do we make that advisor stand up. It's not about our brand. It's not necessarily about AssetLock. It is about a partnership. It is about what are we going to do to help you go out into the marketplace and be the one standing 3 and 5 years from now? This is how you need to be thinking. This is no longer a vendor relationship. simplicity is a partnership. All know in this room, you can go out to different IMOs, you can go out to different platforms and get products and all that. We're serious about your future. You need to know that there are a group of people that are committed to building things for you in a partnership kind of a manner. And I think it always comes down to this. And I think it's important for you to hear my why. I had an opportunity, I'm beyond blessed with my career. I'm just grateful for the stuff I have. And it was about 2 years ago that I had multiple offers to sell AssetLock, which you can probably imagine. And I'm talking some pretty big brands that, like, wow, that's significant. And I had a chance to sit down with our CEO, Bruce Thomas. I got a chance to hear the vision. And he had a chance to hear my vision. Which is everything that I've said to you. I said, it's about the independent advisor. It's about helping those that are serious, Bruce. It's about standing next to them. It makes me go back to something that I personally have. So, this is my mentor, Dr. Senor. I met him in my MBA school. So remember that school that we built? Well, this is the guy that caused all those problems. So we had one of those lunch meetings that turns into a lunch dinner meeting. It was like 2005, and I finally said, "Hey, why are you not doing this?" He says, "Well, I'm nothing but a poor professor." I'm like, "Well, hey, I'm nothing but a crazy white guy. Let's go figure this out." And I stand in front of you today. We have over 700 students in a small fishing village called Nakachi. More than half of them are orphaned. That is getting an education. And so this individual's touched my life. So on my very first trip in 2007, it was in January, I had a chance to go over there. And so there I was in February, it's summertime over there, and I'm in this small village, and there I was having lunch with the chief. So the chief all of a sudden says, "Mr. Jason, I need you to stand up and follow me." I was like, okay. So when you're a guest in a village, the chief says, "I guess we can do it. You do it." And he walks me over to this tree that looks like this. It's called the Baobab tree. He says, "Mr. Jason, you see this tree? I mean, these trees are like 400 years old. They're massive trees. You see this tree?" I'm looking at the tree. Looking at it. He says, "You see this tree? This tree means something to me and my ancestors. What do you think it means?" Okay, so I'm thinking of a pretty good answer. And right before I just was ready to articulate this great answer, he says, "Mr. Jason, tonight at dinner, I'm going to ask you that same question." Answer. Okay, wow. Now the pressure's on. Now the pressure's on. So that night, sure enough, out where you're sitting in, it was an orange moon night. The humidity is so thick, it's like orange. In front of us is a fire crackling. I'm sitting across, and the elders are sitting, and then it goes and rings like that. And I promise you, he didn't blink all through dinner. I'm just like, does that guy blink? I don't think so. He's just locked in. Sure enough, he stands up. "Mr. Jason, the Baobab, what does it mean? What does it stand for?" This is exactly what he said. He said, "Sir, I don't know, but I'd sure like to know." I said that. "Mr. Jason, the Baobab tree, see, it stands for wisdom. Because you see, not one man or one woman can perform this tree. But that's not the real reason why it stands for wisdom. You see, Jason, it's not the number of people. It's who you decide. See, my ancestors, before they go into battle, they'd stand around this tree, and all they knew was who was to the right and who was to the left. That is true. So you're going to walk through this life. You're going to have business relationships. You're going to have friends. Wisdom will be found in who you decide to hold hands with. Jason, take this story and share it. And I share that story with you here today, because that is exactly what I believe we are doing here at Simplicity. It's why I use the words about a partnership. And when you leave here to go home today, you need to know that we are going to redefine what that means. I think it is a hollow term that's used too often in this business. Partner with. And what's delivered? Some stuff is delivered. And I'm letting you know the commitment across everybody in this room that works for Simplicity is we're grabbing that mantle of partnership and saying, if you're serious, you need to know that we're serious in bringing value to you. It is why I'm so proud. This is the home. And we're going to do it. come March 1st, what is about to roll out to this marketplace besides Simplicity Wealth, other proprietary processes, I'll give you a sneak peek. Would you be interested if you did a seminar, mailed out 10,000 pieces, and you had 1% show up, which is 100 people? You do with the other 9,900. I mean, typically everybody does what? Nothing. What if there was an automated process that automatically went into that 9,900 and looked for records and said, oh, we just found 5,000 records, and we built you your own proprietary database, and we remember because we got really good content, and we automatically dripped on them for you? Would that be of interest to you? And you had to do nothing besides be with us? Yeah. What I'm saying is these are the kind of things, when I passionately speak, that if you don't make this about your business, and you don't find a true partner, it's going to be really tough. That's what we're committed to. That's why I'm here away from my family, is because I'm passionate about helping you see your goals. Cool. Awesome. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
If you come to see why I said, hey, it was going to be a special treat, spend a little bit with Jason. So here's what we're going to do. We're in the final stretch. I know you guys have been sitting for a little while, so I'd like to ask you, can you be back in your seats in 5 minutes? I got one more thing that we need to talk about, and then we'll wrap. We'll grab some delicious North Carolina barbecue, but can you be back in your seats in 5 minutes? Waves. Jason will be here through lunch, so you don't all have to bombard at this instant. But we'll start back in 5 minutes. Y'all see you in a second. Thank you. Y'all. I'm definitely a Georgia girl. No, she's. No, it's. Yeah, here. Yeah, here.